One Extra.
So that's BBC Radio 1 Extra with DJ Target, and it is time for another in-depth chat, another in-depth interview right here on my show. Now, for those who don't know, what we've been doing over probably the last year or so is sitting down with some major legends in the game and just breaking down their career, their inspirations, their influences, their aspirations. We look to the future, we look at the past, we break it all the way down. Now, tonight, we're doing things a little different because we don't have an artist in the building. Well, he's no longer an artist, at least. There was once a time when he might have called himself one.
Bloody hell.
Exactly. Before we've even started as well.
Yeah.
But this is a man that runs a platform that has been just seminal to the culture and continues to support it, continues to push the boundaries. We've got the head honcho, GRM Daily in the building, Posty.
Yeah.
How you doing, brother?
Not too bad, brother. How are you?
Happy New Year,
You
first
too.
and foremost.
You too, bro.
2017, another a successful year for yourself and GRM, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'd say it was our most successful year. I feel like, yeah, it came at a time. Obviously, we've been around probably about 8 years now.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, our early days were like, every year was like a major success, and then followed by a major success, and then a major success. And then I feel like the music scene kind of plateaued a little bit for a little while, for a couple years, and I kind of got used to that level for a while. Do you know what I mean?
Now it went back to just the big successes again, man.
Yeah, it was very nice to just, be live and kicking again, like in full flex mode again. So I was very, very, very happy about 2017.
Very big year, man. Not just for GRM and yourself, but for the culture in general. But
the whole scene.
What I like to do when I sit down with artists and people like yourself is take it all the way back, because I feel like, people are inspired by the journeys, inspired by how things were created, and it's great to just put it all in one little package and put it out, man, for people to see and hear. So let's take it all the way back, Posty.
Yeah.
Let's take it all the way back. Let's talk a young Kobe growing up. Let's talk that, if we might.
What? Just to the beginnings of life?
Yeah, let's just talk to them. We don't have to go all the way back to like actual birth, but like I'm talking like, what was it like growing up, man? What was it like in the household? Was you introduced to music, in the household? Were you outside? What was it like in those real early days, man?
Well, for me, I was born in England, and then I lived in Ghana for like 12 years. So I came back to England in year 7, and then I was living in a place called Custom House, which is in East London.
Jeez, shout out to the Custom House crew.
Yeah, big up Custom House and the whole of East London in general. And basically, and my mum used to let me get 5 buses to school. So
5 buses?
Yeah, 5 buses to school.
Where was school?
It
Birmingham?
No, it was in Essex. It was in Hornchurch.
Oh, wow.
So I went to the same school as Devlin.
Okay.
He was in a couple years younger than me. And I first got introduced to, I wouldn't say it was grime at the time, but it would have been like, I don't know, it was like garage. Like we would be like the school managed to, like, someone in the school, like in the older years, convinced the school to buy like decks or whatever.
Well, they had good convincing skills, boy.
Yeah, really good convincing skills.
We would have loved a pair of decks in my school.
Yeah, so we had them from like when I was in like year 11, actually, when we was on our way out. And that was when people would play like songs like Chopper. Was it called Chopper?
The Jungle record.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that tune. And then you'd have to like MC over it and all that. Do you know what I mean?
Big up Shy FX.
Yeah. So big up Shy FX. So we was like kind of MCing over like beats like that. And then in the area that my school was in as well, there was a big kind of MC crew called Bomb Squad.
Yep.
And I think, Gets' DJ Unique was part of Bomb Squad.
I remember Bomb Squad. They were doing their thing for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. So
Hack Baker, the singer-songwriter.
Yeah, I've heard he's got like new joints. But it doesn't sound like it.
No, nothing at all. He's doing like a whole guitar singer-songwriter thing, but he was part of Bomb Squad originally as well, man.
Exactly. So like just kind of growing up and like lip-sync girls and like just being out here.
I was going to ask you, when did the Gallus side come out of you? Because like I was going to touch on that a little later, but it sounds like it's been here for a while, been here for a minute.
Yeah, I was early on. I was lip-sync, but because obviously like, and then even like being young, like I was like really heavy into music, especially like from growing up, like I was like a big fan of American hip hop, like Biggie and Tupac, and like I had like CDs of everything, like just mad CDs, and I would like a big avid fan. So like that was my thing. And then obviously when I started getting introduced to like English creatives of a similar background, I was intrigued. So when I was intrigued by Rude Boys, you know, because I was trying to become one, like, do you know what I mean? Because I was like just here, you know what I mean? I wasn't, like I said, I didn't grow up like young in London.
Yeah.
So then like from year 7, I just had to mold into whatever the cool black boy
Almost
was.
like you just had to adapt to what was happening.
Yeah,
here.
I just had to be the cool black boy as well. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to be like the average black boy or like the whatever. So whatever the coolest black boy was doing.
Who actually wants to be the average black boy? That's crazy.
So whatever the coolest black boy was doing, that's what I was into. So I was getting even if when I speak now, you hear people with accents that have lived in different countries for as long as I have, and they have an accent.
Yeah.
But I'm like a really quick learner with everything. Do you get it? So it's just one of the things I am. So I was trying to learn everything as quick as possible. So I was influenced by like Bomb Squad, and then started listening to like random radio stations, and then whatever like the sound was, MCing. Who's MCing? Deja 92.3. Listen to Wiley, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whoever was on there. You know what I'm trying to say? And then I started introduced, but I wasn't like fully whipped yet. I was still
just kind of dabbling.
Yeah,
just,
I was
just touching
dabbling.
the
Like I
surface
started
and stuff.
MCing myself and all that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
listen, like, even I had a little run.
Yeah.
Way back. So
like, was it way like that? It's probably like a way.
I was like 11, 12. So it was
Okay.
before any of this was going on. So
Yeah.
I got away with it.
Yeah, no, of course. I think everybody's like dabbled once in a while. But yeah, I had like 316s or whatever that I would do when the jungle came on.
You could have called yourself Stone Cold Steve.
I could have done
316s.
316s. I could have done. So I had all that, and then I started going to like little youth clubs here and there, like where they would MC or whatever. And then I heard Kano, P's and Q's, or maybe Boys Love Girls, or one of them songs where he was like actually like going ham, like with like the
Bars,
lyrical, like with the bars. And I was like, raw, because before no one had shown me how lyrical you could actually get on grime
these,
or like
because
English.
I feel like it had come from garage, which was a lot more like hosty. There were some lyrics, obviously, and there were MCs, but it wasn't until the transition where you had the Wileys and the Kanos, and it was like, what, these guys are going in like fully, like you can compare this to like a Busta Rhymes or
exactly. Because I wasn't like, I'm not a fan of like I'm a fan of it, like if I'm in a rave and that, or it's like takes me back to my childhood, but I was never like a big fan of like the hosting MC kind of thing. Like that didn't influence me. But when I heard Kano, and then I heard Wiley, and I heard all these other characters in the music industry that were like kind of changing the sound and pushing boundaries of what you could do in terms of the music lyrically, I was like, oh wow, this is sick. All right, cool. I want to be more involved, just as a fan or even as a creator.
Yeah.
And that's how I first fell in love with English music.
I feel like it's a great time to press play on this record, man. Kano, P's and Q's. Posty is in the building for tonight's In Depth. Just played your Kano's P's and Q's. Tonight's In Depth is with Posty, head honcho of GRM Daily. Posty, we spoke about, that early, if you like, discovery of UK music. A couple, jungle tunes got your attention, and then, you'd heard these guys doing their thing over this brand new genre, if you like, called grime. Likes of Kano, likes of Wiley. What happened next?
So then, obviously, like, I was a huge fan of them lot, and then I was a big fan of Channel U at the time, so then I fell in love with like rap music now as well, and certain rappers. But I missed the whole So Solid era all my days, so I love So Solid as well. They were like my favorites at the start, you know what I mean?
I think every single person, as long as like you were alive when that happened, every person in our culture hails So Solid as an influence.
Yeah, now watching the 21 Seconds video for the first time, that was a huge impact.
Yeah.
This is way before the other stuff that I was discussing before. So yeah, big them up. And then obviously, like I fell in love with people like Kalashnikov, on Channel U, like that was like a hip hop thing, and it was like a bit more like super edgy rap.
I
Whereas
remember
like,
he had that track Murder that was just like,
Yeah.
was on Channel U like constantly.
Yeah, and then he had his whole crew, Terra Firma, and they had like different things. Like I like ignorant rap, and I feel like a lot of rap in the UK before was quite conscious. Well, that was out there.
But there was like a kind of a stigma that was attached to UK rap. It was that kind of whole backpack vibe, and it was like, like we didn't really have a skate scene, but it was a bit skatery.
Yeah, it was,
and it wasn't like.
Yeah.
It wasn't perceived as like cool or like the in thing, and no one was, on the ends, no one was aspiring to be that.
And then you
rapper.
had the American English rappers too, like
and
with the accent,
which was like,
it was crazy.
That was, that was like we could talk a whole like section on that, but we won't. But like I think UK in general were just trying to find their feet, and us as fans, we were growing up listening to US music, and some people got a little bit too caught up in it.
Way too.
And we didn't have our own voice, and I think grime came along and really changed that.
Yeah, no, 100%. So yeah, I fell in love with Kalashnikov and them kind of artists there, and their music, obviously. And yeah, that was it. After that, like I was just an avid fan. Like I was just like buying the DVDs, the Risky Roads, the Practice Hours.
I was about to mention that era because, like you mentioned, Channel U had emerged, and that was the first time we really got to see all of these independent artists and artists who were making low budget videos.
Yeah,
they weren't on our TVs before that. YouTube
wasn't.
hasn't really emerged.
Yeah.
And that was the first place that we really had a platform for.
Yeah,
and then the
Channel U was
DVDs
important.
came, and we provided that kind of behind the scenes imagery and whatnot.
Yeah, Channel U was incredibly important, just because it was the first place that you could have you could actually see stuff and see what people look like at the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
The only thing with Channel U is you couldn't, you would have to sometimes watch 2 good videos and then 5 dodgy ones maybe, and then one, do you know what I mean? But then when the DVDs came out, and Channel U, stuff like the Ill Out Show and things like that was really, really important because it allowed us to see different formats, get to know the artist a bit more, interviews, do you know what I mean? And then with the DVDs and stuff, with the Risky Roads and Practice Hours, it seemed like there was more of a selection process with the people that actually got on there. So it was kind of like the people that you wanted to see on Channel U all the time.
Yeah, you got that on the
You
DVDs,
got that on the DVDs for the hour and 40 minutes or whatever it was.
You could flick through it as well. If you didn't fancy watching that guy do his freestyle, you could just flick to the interview or the backstage at Eskimo Dance or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a big movie, just to get one of those DVDs, and then you would sit on that for a year or 6 months till another one came out.
Yeah.
So those are really important moments, and I feel like those are huge platforms because no matter how much of a terrible MC you was, anybody on any of those DVDs are still common names now, if that makes any sense. If you made it on one of those DVDs,
they were that
someone of our age group. Yeah. Obviously, I know you're a bit of a high age group, but anyone between.
I was waiting for you to start dropping in. I'm still only 22 years old.
Yeah, you know how it goes. But anyone of our age group or our generation still are familiar with these names, and that's how big those platforms were because it was the only place that you could kind of see these people, do you know what I mean? And then with but the only problem with the DVDs was that they took such a long time to curate sometimes.
They took, I know from doing my own one, they took forever to shoot it, to edit it, to get it ready. It was a year process.
Yeah, it was a whole year process, and then you'd have to sit on that for a whole year and then wait for someone else to do one, and some weren't as good as the others. Yeah. And then it was just mad. Basically.
And then the floodgates kind of opened, and I remember there was just a ton of just rubbish.
Yeah.
Cheaply, just making the culture not look like it was progressive. It was kind of a bunch of them just going in the other direction. But those ones that you mentioned obviously were really impactful.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then it kind of, I remember the birth of the internet, in terms of consuming content. So I remember when YouTube first became kind of big. I think I was in uni at the time. And I don't know, you know, when YouTube was a bit wild, like you could see like, I don't know, like dog fighting or like snails.
It's still wild. It's still wild.
No, it's not that wild anymore.
Right,
It's not compared to how it was before. You know,
It's true. Yeah.
Like,
There's a lot more.
yeah.
You know, there's things in place now to make sure that too much crazy content isn't on there. But yeah, it was a lot more wild.
Like at the time, you could just upload anything you wanted, like anything you wanted. So
sounds like you had a couple of late night 3 a.m. YouTube sessions that you still remember.
Still do, just different site. But anyway, so I remember when that came about. So then I kind of saw people ripping the DVDs and putting them onto YouTube now, which was cool because sometimes you wouldn't always be around a DVD player, but you might be at your friend's house at uni and they got a laptop, so you might want to show them something. Do you know what I mean? So I witnessed all that, and then I witnessed like people starting to curate content like One Extra, for example. Sometimes you might come on the BBC One Extra site and then you might see like a 3-minute video of like a English artist that you wanted doing some show or doing something or doing some freestyle. It wasn't that regular though. It might have been like once every like 3 months, but it was still regular in that time.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't anything going on.
Yeah.
So you might go on there, then you might go to a couple other places really, but it was quite small amounts. Do you know what I mean? And then I saw that, and I saw Jamal. At the time, he was doing it more of a hobby kind of vibe, if that makes any sense. But he was the original YouTube filming.
I remember Jamal Edwards just popping up at like all different events. He had his handheld. It was the time of like the little handheld video cameras.
Yeah.
And he used to just pop up everywhere. And he had this video camera. And he was just constantly like wanted to get a freestyle off this MC and was backstage at this event. And you could see that he was. Yeah, you know, it was about to take it from what we had known as the kind of DVD movement, and it was about to move into YouTube.
Yeah, no, of course. So I saw that as well, and so basically, I was like talking to my friend one day, and then I was like, oh, I wanna build this website because I still didn't feel like there was enough actually being curated. Like it wasn't like on a daily basis. It was sometimes you'd have to wait 2 weeks or 3 weeks for any type of content,
new,
or like a month. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like nobody was actually actively out there like this is my job. Do you understand? So I thought, all right, cool. I said to my friend, I'm thinking of doing this website because at the time we was like super addicted to world star hip hop. Because now we was like, obviously we're still fans of American music, so I'm just there refreshing world star hip hop probably about 8 times a day, waiting for them to put something new up.
New content.
Yeah, I'm like addicted to this website. So then I'm sticking around waiting for like 8 months. I'm like, obviously someone's gonna do like an English version of this because obviously like this is blatantly what we need.
And the demand for it in the UK as well was growing. There were more artists. There was more music videos being dropped, but people wanted more. They wanted to see more than that. They wanted to see what happens behind the scenes. What about a freestyle? How about an interview? And like you said, people wanted it all the time, every day.
Exactly. So I was like, let's just do a website. So now I spoke to my friend, and then we said, because I didn't want to pay. I actually didn't want to pay for everything myself. So I thought, instead of like paying for everything myself, let me just go hard with my friend because I ain't got no idea of what I'm doing. And then we can just
if we lose the money, I've only lost 50% of it.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so basically, he was like, so when I called him, he was like, yeah, I got exactly the same. I've been thinking of doing the exact same thing. And my friend who I did it with, we'd grown up together, and we was like, both liked English music. He knew everything I would talk about, and I would know everything he would talk about in relation to English music. We was clued up together. So then it was like a perfect fit, basically. So then we built the website. When we went to build the website, I remember MySpace was huge, like maybe a couple years before we did that. And with MySpace, the people with the best designed MySpaces, you used to always go in their MySpace more.
I remember the days of there used to be like a couple of guys who came along and they'd be like, yeah, I could do your MySpace page.
Exactly.
Like 30 quid.
Exactly.
And like, you'd go on people's page and they'd have like these sick looking music players, and the photo arrangement was all different, and there was logos, and like that became like they were like people's websites before people had websites.
Exactly. Like MySpace was huge, and the better your MySpace looked, the more chance people were coming on
The
it
more girls you're gonna have in your top
yeah,
top 8.
It was
or whatever
crazy. It was crazy, and it's interesting you say that because most of the designers were £30, and you would have like a good enough design, and then if you paid £60, you'd be like decent. You'd be like, you could have probably like the same designer as Wiley did, or like da. But I remember J2K, he had like one of the best MySpaces, and he had a guy called Sketchy Media do his MySpace. And I remember like I messaged that Sketchy Media and I was like, yo, can you do my MySpace for me? Like I'm thinking, the £30 joint. and then he hit me back and he was like, it would be like 160. I was like, 160? But obviously them times you're thinking 160 was more than 160 is now.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
And it was like, what, you just pay 160 for your MySpace page? Like, who does that? Do you know what I'm saying?
People was putting in like real capital to make that work.
Yeah, I wish I actually did it now. But anyway, because I was a struggling artist. But so I wanted the views, and then
this could have been a completely different conversation.
Yeah, I know. If I
had you gone with the 160,
that's what I'm trying to say. I would have had more top friends and all sorts.
You know what I'm saying?
But so I remember, and then I passed up on the offer. Obviously, I think I just didn't reply. So then, when it came to like, obviously, like I said, neither of us are from a background of either filming or website or any of that. So when it came to like structuring how a website was built, I just remembered, MySpace, who was the best designer on MySpace? I thought, Sketchy Media, he's the best designer on MySpace. So I thought, all right, cool, let me give him a shout, because if he designs MySpace, he must know how to make a website, obviously. So then I hit him up, so can you make a website for us? He's like, yeah. So then we paid him the money, and then he made a website for us, and then the website came. I was like, make it look like World Star Hip Hop.
How much did it originally cost you guys to set up that initial website back in the day?
I think it was probably about $3,000, maybe. Which was a huge deal, because at the time, obviously nowadays you have like a whole surge of entrepreneurs and people like doing things for themselves and taking things into their own hands. But at the time, that was like a pretty huge deal for like.
Big risk as well then.
Yeah, because it's like, what are you even doing? Like you could like them times you could buy a car for that money.
Couple whips for that.
Yeah, you could buy a car and be all right for that money, you know what I mean?
100%.
And go about your business, lips and girls. Do you know what I mean? So that was like a big
that was just a
that
running
was like
theme.
a big that was like a big risk to have. Or you could buy like a little chain or like a watch or something. Do you know what I mean?
Listen,
Bear trainers, be the guy.
100%.
You know what I mean? So anyway, so we paid for the website. That was it. So now we're thinking, all right, cool, we got a website now, GRM Daily. We set up the Facebook, the Twitter, and the YouTube channel. And then basically when we do that, we got a website now. I've started messaging everybody on Facebook, probably like 1,000 artists. Like, hey, we just set up the UK version of this and we'd like to just let you know about it, whatever and whatever. Do you know what I mean? So start hitting everybody up. And I remember only 2 artists messaged us back on Facebook, and they were Bashi and Tiny Temper.
Wow.
And that was cool. So then we've got the website now. And then now we're thinking of putting content on there. So now, when a new day comes, all I'm doing is putting on old content. I'm putting on DVD content that's already existing on YouTube, because I wasn't curating.
Yeah.
Because in fact, what happened was I gave Jamal a shout, and I said to him, because on World Star Hip Hop, they had a guy called Jordan Towers at the time, and Jordan Towers was like the guy that was like filming all the music videos and doing this and doing that, and then the exclusives would be on World Star Hip Hop.
Yeah.
So I gave Jamal a shout and I said, we want you to be like Jordan Towers is to us.
Gathering the content.
Yeah, so we put his logo on our website as well. So we was meant to do it like
little joint kind of.
Like a little joint venture, because me and Pierre, we didn't know how to film or edit or nothing like that. So it wasn't like in our scope of brain capacity to ever even.
You just, you know what I mean? Lips and girls was the main thing.
Yeah. So then all we had was this old content to put on this website. We thought no one's gonna actually come on the website to watch old content, if that makes any sense. And then the thing with Jamal didn't actually end up working out. He wanted to do his own thing. So then we just bought a camera and we just started filming, and the first person we filmed was J2K, because Sketchy Media knew J2K because of MySpace. And then after that, when we met J2K, then we'd go off a referral. So, oh, can you hook us up with anyone else? Then he would say Frisco. And then Frisco, what, can you hook us up with anyone else? Then he'd say this one.
And it just grew from there.
And
man.
then it just grew from there.
And around this time as well, like the UK scene was already like popping. Grime had done its thing, like you say. UK rap had started to find its feet. Gigs had been out and kind of broke the doors down as far as UK rap goes. In fact, I feel like this is a great time to press play on a Gigs record that definitely kicked down a lot of doors for UK rap music.
If you're talking the hardest, Gigs better pop up in your thoughts as an artist. Jeez.
Talking hardest tonight's In Depth with the man himself, Posty from GRM Daily. Now, Posty, we spoke about, early inspirations. We spoke about you setting up Grime Daily, as it was known then as well.
Yeah.
Until 2012, I think you started to transition it into GRM. We'll talk about that as well. But Grime Daily initially, you was creating content. You started to film freestyles. You were adding music videos. What were the numbers like in those early days as well? Were you hitting decent numbers from the off?
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, so I'd say so basically what we'd do is we'd meet an artist and then we'd build 5 pieces of content off one meeting. Just so, because it was called Grime Daily, because I wanted to give a brand new piece of content every single day.
Yeah.
Because nobody was doing every single day. I wanted everybody to know this is...
So you wanted it to do what it said on the tin.
Yeah, I wanted everyone to know this is somebody's job, basically.
Yeah.
This is our business. So then what we do is... Actually, now 7 pieces of content. So what we do is we'd have like a 20-minute interview, break it down in 5 pieces of 4 minutes, right? And then I would let go a piece of that interview every day. So that means I would have 5 bits of content from Monday to Friday.
For that one artist. Almost.
And then I would do a crep check, which would be like Saturday. And then I would do a freestyle, which would be like Sunday. So off one artist, I would have 7 bits of content. So then if I met up with like 4 artists that week, I would have basically 27, 4, 28 bits of content.
Yeah, so you're just stacking up
so now I've
loads
got,
of new content,
exactly.
And you could drop it as and when.
So that basically when you go on grimedaily.com, you don't only just see one artist. Now you can see, the 4-part bit of that interview, a freestyle from this person, and then a crep check from that person. So then I would have like 3 different artists on a day. So then I look really busy.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's basically...
Crep Check was a show that blew. Like, obviously trainers and footwear has always been very important in grime and UK rap culture or whatever, and Crep Check was one of those things that just people just loved it. People just and artists and people who wanted to be on it. People would proper be seeking out trainers that they could bring for their Crep Checks and stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was just something that Pierre used to say when we was younger, because he was into his trainers. So he'd just be like, he would just start like doing little things on his phone and say crep check. You know when you could start filming on Ericsson? So he actually invented that word. And then obviously we just thought we'd bring it into what we was doing because it was part of like what we used to do. Do you know what I mean? And then it kind of like super caught on because it was interesting, crep check, because now everybody's got like 100 trainers if you're like in the music industry or whatever. But at that age, it was interesting to just catch an MC slipping and just be like, what trainers are you wearing? And then like sometimes they'd be wearing like really, they'd be wearing like really sick trainers, and sometimes they wouldn't be so sick, but they would act like it was sick, so then it was funny. So then everyone would be like, "Rah, did you just see my man's crep check? He looks crazy," like kind of thing. And then it would just be like an unspoken thing that we got you that day, with the artist, but no one would ever speak about
what I mean. And it became a thing that people like, you're gonna be anywhere around where you might be, or Pierre or Grime Daily could be at an event. Like you had to have your trainers need to be on point just in case.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was definitely imperative. And then after a couple of months, like what would happen was the YouTube used to freeze at the time if you put up a video and it got over 300 views in a certain space of time, because then it was racking up thousands.
I remember that video is being frozen on 301.
Yeah, exactly. Between 300 and 1
and clears, it's like 60k or I don't know what.
No, it definitely wasn't 60k then. It was a couple thousand.
Oh yeah, of course,
yeah. So then basically, what we'd do is we'd like, I remember like just put up videos and then go downstairs to make a drink, come back upstairs. It was like on 301 already. It was like, Rob, killing it. Basically, like, because everybody's like logged onto it.
Yeah.
It was like, basically, it became like, it became quite addictive to the consumer, because it was like nobody was putting out content in that nature, at that speed, in that capacity, like taking it on as a full-time.
So you were like, you guys were creating like content addicts, if you like. 'Cause people were just coming back and wanting to see new stuff. Man.
Exactly. So then we became like the biggest channel for UK rap and gram, or gram predominantly at the time, and then rap. I tried to start sneaking in the rappers. Obviously, Giggs was doing his thing, so then it was a bit easier with Giggs because he was so huge. But then I always knew that UK rap was gonna be massive as well, just based on how Giggs was. So then I knew that there would be other like rappers like Giggs in the future.
How did you yourselves at GRM Daily and the relationships with, you know, the other two major kind of platforms at the time and still today, SBTV and Link Up TV, because there was always like a kind of back and forth, it seemed, and there was like, oh, it's GRM Daily or it's SBTV or Link Up or like, well, did you guys ever have any kind of, I don't know, internet, you know, cross website beefs or anything like that?
In the early days, Link Up TV wasn't a channel like ours or SB's. It had like a different route, so they wasn't kind of in our
lane, if you like.
Yeah, in the early days, I would say more so like 2012, 2013. They begun to rise in that particular lane. So before then, yeah, there was a little bit of competition. Actually, there was a huge bit of competition with SB because it was like Jamal was like the originator, but he was more coming from, I would say, like, it was like his passion / hobby. Like he was probably about to go to college or uni or something. Whereas we was a bit older, like slightly. So we had just finished and we was probably about to step into jobs.
You was at law school or something at the time, weren't you?
Yeah. I was at law school, so about to step into jobs. I'm like, oh, no way, I don't want to do that. So then I was like, you know what, I'm going to make this my business. So then obviously when we had come around and was like doing this as such a fast rate and like a business kind of thing, then obviously he would have thought, because he was the originator, he was more thought, oh no,
these guys are stepping on my toes.
Like these guys are stepping on my toes, like, and obviously they've come out of nowhere and like they're like doing mad stuff or whatever. Like we was like the first people with like a website or like a presenter or like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like these are like quite big things to something that never existed before. So there was always competition there, and obviously he could film and edit, so his videos were always slightly better looking than ours.
So you guys, I guess, had strengths in slightly different areas.
Yeah, we had strengths in slightly different areas. Plus he had the links a little bit earlier than us, so he would know, like, he probably knew JME and Skepta and those most popping people at the time more than we would. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. But then we would still be doing stuff with them and all that. So then, yeah, there was a bit of competition there. But I think the competition was good just because what we always wanted to do was we never wanted GRM to be like the only content curator, because we wanted to encourage other people as well to create content so that we could always have content to put on the website, because the website was always our main intention. We just started filming because we had to film. We would rather not have filmed.
Yeah, if you didn't have to.
If we didn't have to. We just wanted
video camera out.
Yeah, we just wanted to sit there, go on YouTube, copy and paste, copy and paste, so that when you come on the website,
you've got all the content.
Exactly, you get a refined list of everything that you actually want to watch, like a daily calendar. Do you get it? So then,
I feel like the three of you though, like SB, yourselves, and Link Up were all necessary and doing what you were doing in your different kind of lanes.
Yeah.
You know, bringing us up to today where all three platforms now get on, you all still do your thing and have moved the culture forward massively, man. I want to talk about though.
I want to talk about Link Up though as well, you know, because I don't want to just seem like I brush past
No,
them.
of course not. Give Link Up give Rashid and Link Up its 30 seconds as well, man.
Yeah, no,
by
of
all
course.
means.
So I feel like at the time where the UK music scene had gone quite quiet. I would say this was between 2012 and 2011, 2012.
I was going to ask you about this actual period, so it's perfect because that period was like you said, it felt like it kind of plateaued. Grime had kind of surged and then kind of fallen back. The 696 was shutting down raves, and some people had gone commercial. Others didn't know if they wanted to go commercial, if they wanted to be underground. There was like a lack of new London MCs coming through. The Midlands kind of had to take the reins when it came to grime. And like I was going to ask you, how did you guys adapt during that period? I guess it's exactly what you're about to touch on.
Yeah, it was peak because basically what had happened was, for us, it was like I said, we became the biggest channel, and then our channel got deleted. So
I remember that.
Yeah, our channel got deleted, and this was like our life's work, probably like our legacy work. And then it was like, man, what do we do? So then we took a whole year out of YouTube, like a whole year, and then tried to start using our own video player, which was quite expensive. And then we went into debt over the video player. Not saying we didn't have money to pay for it. It was just like the debt was like something like, I don't know, like 15 grand or something, and just being like 21-year-olds or 23-year-olds, you would think, why should we pay for that when we could just buy a car, basically? Like, do you know what I mean? So we wasn't trying to pay for that, basically. So then we took a whole year out and we thought, oh man, let's just come back to YouTube again. And then we rebranded the whole company as GRM Daily. We wanted to anyway. We had a meeting with like someone older, and he was like, yeah, you should call it GRM Daily because, you know, that way you're not in a box. Plus, it could stand for grime rap music or whatever the case may be. Do you know what I mean? So we did that, and then we came back. And then when we came back, it was like everybody was doing like more commercial music. And then I feel like the hit, because basically the reason I think that the reason why the industry is so strong now musically is because all the platforms and stuff have been building artists to a certain level and building audiences to a certain level. So, for example, if like you have an artist that started 10 years ago, you can see his work. If you could have been a fan from him from when he was there 10 years ago till now, basically, and the audiences grow. But basically with like, when the channel got deleted and we were inactive, there was also a big hit that the industry had taken. So some people almost also gave up because like all their work was gone, basically, if that makes any sense. And we felt hard done by because we didn't know why our channel had gone. And then we was a bit lazy and complacent and upset, obviously, because our life's work had gone. So when we came back, I remember it was like, we was like, wanted to like do more content. So we started shooting, we wanted to shoot more music videos. And then I remember this day where I was talking to a particular artist and I said, oh, I want to shoot your video. And then he was like, yeah, can you pick the location? But obviously I was shooting the video for free.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, what can you, not me personally, but I would source someone and I would have to pay them, I think. So then I was like, and he was like, oh, could you pick the location as well? And I was thinking, so you want a free video and you want us to pick the location and you want us to upload? Like after what
you guys would make the song for them as well.
Yeah, like after what I just been through, I was just like, this is super long. So then like I didn't do it. So then my job became extremely tedious. Like it was just a waiting game of waiting for people that were a little bit more advanced in their work process.
To come up with some the goods, basically.
Yeah, like at least pick a location and then let me find the cameraman. Or do you know what I mean? Like let it be my fault at least. So then obviously working that way, there was a big decline. And then obviously with SBTV, they had reached like such a crazy height, especially with Jamal being so big as a guy from the as a businessman from the channel. They weren't just concentrating on rap and UK grime. They had like way different facets. Do you know what I mean? So then Link Up TV were amazing because they'd come around and they were working from like they were working from like the ground up. Like they would film everything. Like they would go to a show, film, they'd create stars. Like they were like not bougie. Like they were getting their hands super duper duper dirty and like just putting in the work. And
that shit would be like, it'd be everywhere.
Yeah,
I'd see 'em
exactly.
everywhere as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I even remember I'd be sitting back thinking, this guy's a nutter. Like, why is he going so ham? Like, I think I'd be slightly hating because I'm thinking, why is he going so ham? He's just chill. And then I remember I just started working out for them, and they build like they help build the scene again. You know what I mean? So
And the scene did rebuild, man. People kind of went back to basics. That whole DIY nature came back to grime. The self-sufficiency side of things came back, and even as importantly, the music got
100%.
better.
Yeah.
And records like this one definitely helped to change the game, man. Posty's in for tonight's In Depth.
Driving a German whip. Driving a German whip. Yo.
That was Meridian Dan German Whip from 2014. Wow, 3 years ago for that already. It's tonight's In Depth with the man himself, Posty from GRM Daily. Posty, that kind of whole period where German Whip dropped and Skepta was, you know, he flew out to America and was spending time out there, and grime artists were seemed to be just back on it. The Midlands, like I said earlier, the Birmingham scene had really held things up as far as MCs and artists and DJs putting in the work, but it felt like this was about to be a much bigger wave this time around.
Yeah, no, of course, definitely. I saw it was a very exciting time when those things were happening, because it was like different opportunities were being opened to people that were doing well now over here. So I remember that was an exciting time.
Could you feel and see the difference in you know, people coming to the site in numbers on viewers and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like I said, like by that point now, all the platforms had kind of started, like we were like machines, basically. Machines like creating content, filming content. Even yourselves as One Extra, as an establishment, started opening up your doors even more so, and accepting English music. So everything just started connecting together, and then the artist even had started, like the things that you mentioned and the accomplishments that you mentioned, always give people the energy to kind of want to aspire and do things more now, because they see where it can go, if that makes any sense. When people can't see where things can go, they often never give it their all.
There's no real incentive, I guess. When people can see, wow, this is really happening, and even more so, it's happening bigger than it's ever happened before.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like when people can see there's a precedent there and there's something to aspire to, I feel like everybody jumps in, and that's why the industry is so strong now, because this has been an ongoing thing for like 10 years online. So if it's 10 years online, and then our generation has also witnessed it 4 years on TV maybe, and then flipping couple years on DVD, and then a few years on pirate radio, like that's like 20 years worth of like building. So it's no surprise that we are where we are today. So another 10 years will be even on a greater plateau, you know what I'm trying to say?
Indeed, man. Now, I guess the perfect time to talk about the Rated Awards would be now, because off of the back of, you know, the resurgence, and I say resurgence as a word, but it's more like the world domination kind of began, and the Rated Awards was something that I feel like the culture needed. We've always had the Mobos, which has always felt a little bit disconnected from the artist. It feels a little bit industry, and there was still a gap. There was still a gap for something that was put on by the people for the people, and the Rated Awards came along and delivered just that, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was kind of like the inspiration of like creating it. Obviously, like all my successes in the music industry have been due to like gap in the markets. So we just wanted to create something where, like, obviously everybody, I see like the music industry kind of like as an office, really and truly. I feel like even though certain artists might not get on with certain artists or this or that, we're all kind of working towards the same goal, which is making English music, like consciously or unconsciously, you're trying to be the biggest artist in the world and you're from England. So we're obviously, you can't be the only one. So we're all unconsciously trying to make English music the biggest thing in the world, which in my head makes us colleagues, you know what I mean? And if we was all working in the office, in every like office, there's like a Christmas party or like a New Year's party. We just wanted to have like a celebration of the year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also like acknowledge people's accomplishments and like hand out awards and nominate them and say, you know what, you done incredible this year. Like you done sick, congratulations. And just like be with each other and just like enjoy each other's music just for one day, like National Peace Grime UK Rap
Listen,
Day.
like there was a lot of skeptics, and a lot of people were like, I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not sure.
I was one of them.
Listen,
I was one of them.
Like, and the first event, which, in fact, all of the events, all of the rated awards to date have been, you know, trouble-free.
Yeah.
There's been absolutely nothing. It's been nothing but a celebration of the culture, and it was great to see, man. I've managed to be at all three, managed to get a little nomination as well.
Yeah.
Looking
Come
forward
on.
to 2018 and all that.
Come on.
But it was great to see, man. And it also is a great chance for you personally to I guess, celebrate what you've done and what GRM Daily and GRM have done over the years as well. I know it's not about that, and you say it is about the music and the culture, but it's also a celebration of what you guys have done, and you get your tuxedo out, bruv, as well. Let's not forget about the tuxedo, gang.
So it is, most of these things that I'm doing is I'm doing it because I actually have to.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't enjoy it, I do, but it's like, for example, like if we didn't do the rated awards, who was gonna do it?
Yeah.
Like we've been waiting around, like somebody do it, nobody does it, gotta do it. You know what I mean? And then obviously I gotta pull out the tux because
I remember
I'm the host. I have to be the host.
I remember this year or last year's one. I was in Camden.
Yeah.
And I came to get something to eat in that Caribbean restaurant up there, and you were in there.
Oh, Cottons,
and
yeah.
You were going through like options for your tuxedo.
Yeah.
And you was not happy with this double-breasted.
Oh, I told you the double-breasted, but it turned out all right.
It worked out, bro.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. That's what I haven't had a chance to actually say to you. That was the double-breasted.
Yeah.
You went with it, because I remember at the time you was like, nah, you do it double-breasted.
Yeah.
You even rang the guy when we were there.
Yeah.
You just telling him, nah.
Like your final opinion on double-breasted is what made me like go so anti on him. I was like, you tried to get
you know
me
what
in
it
a
is?
double-breasted.
The one in the picture didn't look like...
Yeah.
Whoever was wearing it in the picture, maybe it was even on like a...
No,
mannequin.
the one in the picture was, I told you I was getting the version of this double-breasted.
Oh, that's
and he
it,
was like,
that's it. Yeah,
why are you
yeah,
getting it double-breasted? And he was like, you made it seem like such an old person thing to do.
No, you pulled it.
But it worked out all right.
It looked expensive and regal, bro.
It was expensive and regal, to be honest with you.
No, looking forward to the Rated Awards in 2018. Now, we talk about GRM and what it's been doing and what it continues to do. Not for the Radio is another platform that is, again, there was a gap in the market again for that. It was needed, and for artists to be able to come in and to sit down and have those conversations, you know, undiluted, unedited, without any kind of restrictions, it was great to see as well, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, like I said, that also came from a place of necessity, and like I was just like approached Dwayne, who's obviously a legend over here as well, and just being a student of the game and just watching his like progress in like the music industry, I just knew that he would be the perfect partner in this. And then obviously Shams is just like my sister, and she like has a great bond with artists for like running over 10 years. So I kind of got everybody together. And then we just thought we'd like give it a go, kind of thing, you know what I mean? And then it worked out for the best. Like it just kind of took off straight away, and it's like such a home for like uncut, unedited opinions and like.
Who's your favorite interview or artist you've had on there?
Wiley, he's just.
You know, I was gonna say the Wiley interview conversation that you got that day, the first one.
Yeah.
The second one, I feel like he didn't really need to come and do the second one.
Yeah.
The first one, like, you got gold. Like, that was like the ideal moment to catch him. And I even remember you guys saying you sat in there with your coats on, didn't even turn on the heater because you thought he mightn't even turn up.
No, I did not expect him to turn up, 100%. And he just turned up, and it was the sickest interview. I could have sat there for like at least another 10 hours just listening to him talk, because he's just like so knowledgeable and just like one of the founders of this, and obviously, like, you know, when like I feel like I was invited to the music industry by certain people's actions and things that they created. So it's always like a pleasure listening to Wiley talk. So yeah, that was definitely a sick one. I really enjoyed that one. And yeah, like there's a couple others, but Wiley's definitely my favorite.
We've spoke about so much. Time flies during these things as well, man. Like there's so much that's happened. There's so much to look forward to. The time literally just runs away. But we're not done yet. We've still got to talk about GRM's expansion into the world of now releasing music as well.
Yeah, obviously we've been kind of like doing video A&Ring for like almost a decade now. So when the opportunity arose where we could also curate the actual creation of music from the ground up, it was an exciting thing to do because we have great relationship with the artists and they might not necessarily come together authentically all the time, might not cross paths because they're busy or whatever the case may be. We're kind of a nice gel and a nice mediator. So yeah, that was like an exciting thing to do and to continue to do because it just allows us to kind of be in the music creation process and feel like Khaled for like 2 minutes, you know what I mean?
Like, but listen, this is the day and age we live in now. It's like people can kind of take their hand to more than one thing. What started off as, like you said, you wanted to provide that platform, that daily platform for people to come and see and hear content, which is now expanded into, you know, shows on the website, and you guys do comedy, and it's just cultural in general. Then we've got the Rated Awards. Now you're releasing music. It's just like a constant growth, which is what it's all about, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, we kind of just grew into that, and yeah, it's quite natural, to be honest. So far, we've made a couple hits. You know what I mean? That you guys have probably spun.
Cheese.
Couple hits.
Couple hits.
Expect another.
Couple light hits.
Yeah, you know, a couple of light hits, man. And that's just light work too. Like we've made those songs like so easily. So yeah, looking forward to like making some new ones as well.
What's next? Have you guys got like a hit list of artists you want to put together? How's it looking for 2018 and the releases?
Yeah, like we're not trying to rush the process, to be honest, because sometimes it does take time to make a hit. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to just rush it, like get two people together and just like
fling it together.
Yeah, fling it together because you think you have to make a song. So kind of taking it easy at the moment and just trying to see what's happening in the game kind of thing, and then try and work out the best move. But I've been working, like I've got loads of songs sitting there, just waiting for the right time, see if I want to do like a Valentine's joint.
Jeez.
Or, you know what I mean, one for the ladies.
Back to the lips in again.
You know how
That's
I do.
that running theme.
You know how I do. Yeah.
Where'd you see us taking it in 2018?
Well, I believe that English is the most spoken language globally. And that's why American hip hop, for example, has like done so well, like around the world and globally. And I feel like the more that we develop our sound and the bigger our artists get, you know, world domination, it must, you know, be possible. Do you know what I mean? Because we are speaking the language that you understand.
It's looking more than possible, man. Last couple of years is just like taking things to whole new levels, man.
Exactly. So I'm really excited I don't think there's any limit to how big our artists can get. So I'm very excited that every time like somebody does something new or something sick, I'm just like, oh wow, sick. Okay, we're almost there. Do you know what I mean? Like anytime our artist gets a Rolls Royce or like a big chain or like all these like material things, or like, you know, reaches new heights in terms of demographic, or is doing a show over there, I'm like, all right, cool. This is exactly what's supposed to be happening. Like now everybody's got a chain. You know what I mean? Like everybody with their name on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Not no little dibby chains either. We're talking like people looking like Migos out here.
Yeah, everyone's going Seattle Gold, getting their big off chains.
Salute Seattle, man.
And it everything just looks the part. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody looks nice. You know what I mean? Well, most people look nice. No, I'm joking. Everybody looks nice and everybody's doing amazing shows. Everybody's loving everybody's music. You know what I mean? So
It's a great time, man.
yeah, 100%. If you're not doing nothing in your life, try rapping right now because it's definitely
Listen, it's rapping or Bitcoin.
yeah, rapping or Bitcoin. Rapping or Bitcoin.
They're the ones right now, bro. Posty, great to catch up, man. Great to thank you for passing through the building tonight, man.
No, definitely. I'd like to give a big shout out to my whole GRM Daily crew, Lauren, and every one of the staff members in the office. Obviously, they're doing a great job. So, you know, sometimes I look good, but they do a lot of work as well, you know what I mean? So, yeah, pick them up.